One, oh.
We already on. We already on. We are live.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was having issue with the sound. Thank you, Myean, for bringing me starting the program. Good evening to our very resilient audience. This is the closing argument. Today we've been very busy in terms of our perspective. Mr. Gayman is headed to the CMC, I think, program coming up this weekend in Pennsylvania, PA, in Philadelphia specifically, at the Clarence Hotel. And then there's a major, and that's the most important one, the All Liberian Conference that is also unfolding. Is happening now in Washington D.C. at the District of Columbia here in the U.S., where in the president of the Republic of Liberia told today opened the conference, and there's going to be a lot more other activities unfolding. Specifically, about say conference, it's going to be a 3 day event. Reverend Don is spearheading this event. Reverend Don did appear on the closing argument on two different occasions quite recently. That was just this week. He appeared on Monday to also discuss. He and Alfonso did appear to discuss details concerning this a very wonderful program that is currently ongoing in Washington D.C. Today, the president opened the program, and tomorrow, as I speak to you, the program is ongoing, where different sections and thematic areas will be discussed. And we do anticipate the major gathering of Liberians, and that will be interacting with their president in a town hall. And that town hall is expected to be on this Sunday, I think Sunday afternoon, if you will. So there's going to be an array of different programs gearing towards the Sunday town hall gathering. I'm told that the Peabody is already. I think Peabody was very live today. He covered the opening section of this All Liberian Conference, Diaspora Conference, happening in the United States of America, where Liberians will interact with their leader and express very pivotal and concerning burning national issues that we all expect to move to and talk about and see to advance some positive way forward. This time, about Liberian here in the US, I'm told Peabody was just giving me some updates that we have the Liberians delegation from Europe that they was trying to lock on and bribe some other thing and spending some good time. The guys from Europe also are part of this conference, so they are Liberians currently from the country attending the ONGA with the president. The ONGA is the United Nations General Assembly, a gathering that is currently unfolding in New York. So it is part of it's an array of different issues that are currently unfolding here. So we will be, Myean, I think I will give you some time to come on and just give up. I know I've just tried to highlight what is happening here in the US, but I will call you on. So you have to come on to give us some briefing as to what is the current development in the country. And you will summarize that briefly. So we will kick the ball rolling to discuss. We do know that we most of it, and I will place a call to either Tomalin or Peabody that is currently attending the conference to give us some update from that end. So, Myean, if you can come on, please, so that you can give
Yeah.
us some
Yes.
major update for in the country. I'm not seeing you on, Myean, just hearing your voice.
My camera is that kind of not coming on, so I'm facing it. But in any way, I can just go ahead to give some audio as work on my camera. But you hear me right? Okay, okay. So basically, today all eyes were on the president at the All Liberians Diaspora Conference in the United States of America, like you said. So today I listened to the president keenly. He made mention about Liberians, most especially those who are in the diaspora. He urged them to come together moving forward to see how best they can invest skill and capacity in fellow Liberians to see how best they can move the country forward. So today at that program, I saw so many Liberians. They were excited when they saw Liberians from different part of their sectors. They were all there to grace the occasion, and then in the process, we saw some cultural performances, and others were saying that they were not expecting people who are in the diaspora to perform that way, in which
Lost you, Maya. Are you there? Maya, your video is not coming up. Then we just lost you. Are we? Are you there, Maya? Maya, your video is not coming up. Then we just lost you. Are we? Are you there, Maya? Yeah. So as Maya was just trying to talk to us. We basically, I think Maya may be having some problem in the back there, so we will try to basically continue from here. But what the president said today, it was a very clear situation. The president is calling on Liberians, both in the diaspora, to unite and other things. But I think it's important. Liberians are always proven to be a strong, a very,
so
very.
are you hearing me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what's
Yeah, I
going on.
think we are facing some difficulty in terms of the network here. But anyway, let me just run through. Then I can work on the internet. Then you can be going forward. So are you hearing me now?
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So today also we saw the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency arrest Sierra Leonean national with a huge quantity of marijuana at the Bullwater side area, where today Liberians' eyes were also on it. And one of the main things that Liberians' eyes been on was on yesterday, where Liberia Drugs Enforcement arrested one of the Kalasco truck, and then
No,
Liberians.
it's not Carrasco, Calando.
Oh yeah, Kalando. Yes, yes. Thank you for that. Kalando truck, and then all Liberians were saying, giving their own view on it. From the opposite side, we got view from the opposite side, where others said that they are not doubting what is happening, because they are assuming that so many big business owners in Liberia, they are using that means to be able to get money. They are also using that means to transport jobs within our country, while others say that probably maybe someone else's may set him up, and then that's the result of that. So we've been hearing so many back and forth about these drugs that were arrested yesterday from Kalando, and then also today we saw the Minister of Information, that's the Deputy Minister of Information, Daniel Sando rather. He had a press conference on Thursday, giving back on the same issue about the former president home, that the Liberia National Police came out with an official release saying that they were denied access to enter the former president residence to conduct the investigation of the recent fire incident that happened at the former president home. So with that, the Deputy Minister of Information at the Ministry of Information there, Daniel Sando, he came up with a statement that the former president, if there's something else happening within the house, they should be able to explain it to the Liberian people, but not to see it that the government of Liberia or the Joseph Newman Boaga administration is going after them to attack them. That's not what happened, but rather they should be able to give the Liberia Fire Service and that of the Liberia National Police the opportunity to be able to carry on their investigation to know what's exactly happening, but they cannot be able to deny them access and then come over or release that is an attack on the former president. So that which he claimed that is not an intention, and they will not do that to the former president.
So that's is that all the development in the country? I saw the release. on the closing argument page, relative to some rape case again. What is that? Can,
Yes. So I'm on top of that development. There's a fellow which we still doing the investigation at the Ministry of Agriculture, and then we are yet to see any release from the Ministry of Agriculture to towards that situation
but
that happened.
where are you guys getting that information from? Because if the Ministry of Agriculture is not coming up and the police is not saying anything,
This
so
information is being confirmed, and then what we are saying, this incident happened, Mr. Pewee. This is when this incident happened. People that were on the scene narrated the story, and this guy was caught right-handed on the scene while doing the act. And then I interviewed some of the residents of that area. I even have a click with some of the family members. Right now, currently, he's in jail. Yes, he's in jail currently. So this incident happened. According to the eyewitnesses, according to family members, they said he carried this girl in the room, and then in the process, he put up the music loud, and then while the music was up loud, and the girl started to cry under the music. So in the process of that, people who were around, they started hearing the person crying under the music. So when they went there, tried knocking for him to open the door, he couldn't open the door. And then what how the community dwellers they came together, and then they opened the door, and then they caught him red-handed, and then they took the girl from there. They rushed the girl to the hospital. They thought because this incident happened in Vatan, but
mhm.
or Ente took her from there, and then they carried her in town so that she can get current treatment. So she's taking treatment now, but the fellow is in the police custody while they're going through the investigation.
Okay. Okay, sign. So that what we have for today, right?
Yes,
I will, I
yes.
will, I will basically start with that, and I saw that because the person, it's just disturbing. I didn't even know that he's already in custody, and the rest of that he was caught red-handed in the act. I didn't know that, but there's someone that I interacted with before personally. He used to actually a smart guy. He's really come and helped me set up most of my IT things at the time because he's very good at that. He worked with the Lone Star cell before Lone Star. If that's the name, and the picture I saw, if that's the person, I hope not. But if it is Seleke Kromah, yes, I
Yeah,
did.
him. That's the name,
Yeah,
son of.
yes. If it's Seleke Kromah, I personally interacted over here. One person has took us Jim brother or I think, but it's very unfortunate, very unfortunate to hear this kind of a story linking him to this kind of thing. Very unfortunate. If it is true, this is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. On a serious note, that I didn't expect him. Now it's still alleged, but to even find yourself in this kind of investigation, that's one of the things we can say. It's good to always remove yourself and try to do everything you can to avoid putting yourself in this kind of a situation because it's not only that it's embarrassing, the stigma it comes with, it stigmatizes your entire um, 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 uh, repetitions or the stigma it brings is terrible. So it's about time that folks will begin the process to man up and remain out of the clue. You understand life, you have to do what you have to do, but you have to do things to keep you out of trouble and be at least, you don't have to be like Christ, Jesus Christ, but try to do everything you can to remove yourself from trouble or avoid from even getting into trouble. That's the Bible says we shouldn't get equally yoked with whatsoever thing. But it's very quite unfortunate. We are with findings from the police report, but as you explained just now, that he was caught in the eye, it's difficult, very difficult. And I read that report from different bloggers today that the report came from one of the clinic and medically saying that the 14-year-old was actually tampered with, allegedly by him. So this is true. It's a very disturbing news. I tried reaching out to him today on his WhatsApp, but it's not going through. I even sent a message and he said, "Oh, what's up, Chief?" I didn't get any response. I know him, one of those persons that are very proactive on the internet and very responsive, if you will. But I tried reaching out to him today. I didn't get him. So the fact that you say he's in jail is trying now to make some sense. That I see why I'm not getting him on the internet. But it's very disturbing actually on a serious note. No one should be allowed. No man should do that to abuse underage kids, if you will. Nobody should. The consent age in Liberia is 18. If you are tampering with anybody under the age of 18, it's wrong, even if the person consented, because that's statutory rape if they under the age 18. And if they are 18 and above, there should be something that they should consent to. They should not be forced to do these things. So we will come and always, this whole Me Too movement we have here in other part of the world is to protect our girls, children, to protect those things of people getting involved into these things. Any kind of sexual abuse or abuse, it's not acceptable. So I want to condemn it. Those that have been involved into it, but we will, in the meantime, call on the Liberia National Police and other group that are engaged with the investigation to always be impartial and ensure that um, they are independent investigation unfolding this kind of a matter. Because if one is accused or charged with this, you are remanded behind bars pending adjudication for or the litigation process that may take some protracted period of time. And so and that's one of the reasons why we will always call on folks to, hey, stay clear of these things. Don't get yourself linked to these things. Other than that, it's not only that it got a lot of things to do, damning the repetition, this is a lifetime stigma, if you will, and then you go to jail for a protracted period of time. That's why you have to avoid, and that's why you have to do the right thing, and don't mess with little children. Don't even mess with anybody that's not open up, even if they met the age bracket. You have to do it in accordance with that individual. It's quite unfortunate. We move back to this. Myean, today we will have, I think it will be a little bit monologic for now, but you come in interchangeably, but because other guys are busy moving, I will try to get to Peabody and get to other folks to get to the bottom of this. But we'll move to this scenario of the information ministry today, the press conference that was conducted by Daniel Sano. We have to be very fair and independent. If it is true, we haven't gotten the other sides always three sides to everything, my side, the other side, and the facts. If it is true from Daniel Sano's perspective, and I say if and if, because if it was alleged that there was an alleged fire, um, was a fire allegedly maybe by an accident. Someone from outside was trying to do that in the home of the former president. The best way to go about it is for the state security to do an investigation. You cannot conduct independent investigation. But if it is true also that what the deputy minister is alleging that the former president is not opening the home, I will open and say this tonight, this evening tonight to the former president. Mr. President, it's important that we respect the rule of law and allow them, even if you don't trust them. You have to allow them to perform the tax, and that's one of the things. The fact that and if the security, and we have to say this from both angles, if the security forces in the country will allow themselves to have this repetition of problem, it's a problem. Because if someone trust in you is eroded, it's going to be difficult for them to allow you conduct kind of an investigation, because they'll believe that you are already taking a side. And that's why we don't want to see particularly the Liberia National Police, because it is the only statutory institution in our country that got the right to do this kind of a preliminary investigations and even give account of what have unfolded. But now if the former president is and his people are saying that no, you cannot enter here, probably they got some genuine reasons why they're doing that, because of your past repetition, your past record. So, Minister Daniel Sandro, I think about it is important that the state security will have to play the role and be loyal and pay their allegiance to the states, not a partisan movement, if you will. Now, the police should be above United Party, CDC, ANC, CLP, right? And all the political institutions in the country. The police should be above that. The police should not play a partisan role. They should be well regimented in terms of the guidelines and the modus operandi of the police operations. Try to preclude these things that will bring partisanship into the whole picture. So it's wrong. So what we ought to do is to change the face of things, to allow the government play a role, because if the government is not respected in the republic, it's troubling. And these are the kind of troubling things that can happen if our society, if we don't have the right to go and say this are things happening. So, Mr. Deputy Minister, I think it's important. I mean, it's clear. But what we have to do is that, as people, it is important to note that I think the former president and the CDC, they are particularly coming from somewhere. So I don't know how we're going to go about these things in the country. It's not a good sign. And that's why we always call on, and that's what I've noticed. Do you know the reason why many Liberians do respect and repose a lot of confidence in the AFL, the Armed Forces of Liberia? Do you know why? Because the Armed Forces of Liberia have proven over time, since the security sector reform, because listen, the Armed Forces of Liberia herself got involved or entangled into the past civil crisis. Yes. And that's part of the reason, after the DDRR program, I participated in that. It was my second job ever I got in the job history, if you will. Because I started with Myean, that was immediately, it was not directly, that was the first set of job that I got. Yes. The DDRR program. I first started the first one with Myean. No, it was the second, because Myean job was not the DDRR program, it was on a different program with IDP, internally displaced folks. We were headquartered at the time in Congo time, but I was assigned to the hotel base in Habel. And then after a couple of months, a year on that job, I left and got a job with Premier Urgence, the VOA cantonment site. So the DDR program itself, after the disarmament, demobilization, and rehabilitation process, we have folks, there was a plan. Because at the time before after the 1997 election, when Mr. Taylor won the elections, at the time they came together and said there would have been a state of forces agreement. No, but again, there was a comprehensive issue there. Then, poof, all these things went on, and then came the Law War. When we went to Accra for the Accra Comprehensive Peace Agreement in Accra in 2003, the Comprehensive Peace Agreement talked about security sector reform. And the security sector reform was to completely, it called for the complete dissolution of the disbanded military. They called it the AFL. And then when all those things came out, 540, this payment, that payment, this, widow of former and soldiers and all those things, they were disbanded. And it called for the restructuring of a brand new army. And that's why today you see the new military we have. And that system of entire procedure started under the leadership of President Sirleaf as president. And that's part of the reason why some time ago, I think he's late now, we brought a Nigerian general to serve as the first chief of staff of the new army. The reason we did that, people say, oh, we're giving our sovereignty. No, it was a plan, it was a comprehensive roadmap for the security sector reform to ensure that, because part of the reason why we had the terrible and cataclysmic civil crisis in Liberia was due to ethnicity. One group of tribal groups just situated themselves, they believed that it would take control, and it targeted a particular group. It contributed to that. And then this time around, we said we need to strike the geographical balance in bringing the new army. In terms of that, the tribal boundary have to be struck. You have to have the 16 tribes across. I mean, there will be a way they destruct the numbers and they do all those things. So that's why today we had that successfully. And with the new army, it's not going to be big as we had before the war, but it's a sizable army group, and that institution now today is respected because the way they went about the recruitment. Ever since that time, they proven to be very professional. I got a big brother that I do respect. That is also in the current military. I think he should be a colonel now. Colonel Kehleboe Gongloe, playing a lot of very, very wonderful role and well regimented, well built. You see his physique and all of things, and he brings to bear a lot more. Right, 2 master's degree, a lot of different military assignment. He got very professional and played to the rules of engagement, and that's the kind of a military we want to see in the country. Yeah, I think he's one of those. I think he's the training commandant now also of the military, if you will. Quite recently, he was just in Nigeria representing the chief of staff and other things. The last time he was in Egypt, the last time he was here in the US and other things. He's been to a lot of international military seminars. That's the kind of thing we want to see in the country, not people trying to politicize. Because if you see the military respected today by the people of the country, it's because of the way the military conducts her own operation, her regimentation in terms of that. Those guys are well regimented, and that's the kind of way we would love to see those kind of a thing. And they will act within the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. That's the kind of a way that disciplinary issues are unfolding. So if you see the former president, the reason why I'm talking to this is because it's important, and I think we'll have to take some time to discuss this so that the country will start to move on. Because if we don't do these things and we want to sit and just believe that the country will move on, we're going to have problems. Because the same going to happen tomorrow if Mr. Weah were to come back to power, or if the CFP coalition for liberal progress was to move and work behind the scene and appropriately assemble the minds of the people to take on power, because that's the reason behind the new progressive coming to channel her will. For it was the grassroots, that massive grassroots mantra of the people, protecting the people moving forward. That's the kind of thing we love to see. So I think we will have to have conversation, national conversation. So start having some respect for the police to operate, and for the police to change this narrative. The police will have to change the way and the perception of the public. Allow the opposition people to see you as you are independent and neutral. The neutrality role you play will have to be clear. And that's one of the reasons why things are unfolding the way they are now unfolding in the country. And so it's important. So if the president is saying that, Mr. President, I think it's important to also, now, if they cannot come to conduct any investigation, then how can we come to any conclusion? Or do we know already what unfolded? If you suspect foul play, or if it is clear that it was electrical, then you announce to the people. But if you suspect foul play, then if they cannot come through because you don't trust them, there should be a way that you call on the government or international partner to intervene and conduct some investigation. We did the same with the Captain Benin Fire saga, and we can do the same with the former president. It's important that we get to the root of this matter. Was it an electrical problem that led to a shock, that led to the fire in his Cinco Castro, if you will? Or was it basically an accident that did that? I think if we were to conduct some investigation on the fact that it just happened quite recently, we can have some reasonable cause to determine the reason behind that. But we have to come to some level of determination as to if we allow our current Liberian police to do this, or we call on some international partners to do some intervention. That's what that I will say to that on my end. But again, there are a lot more other issues. But we'll also go back. I listened to the press secretary today. The press secretary, I listened to the press secretary today, and there are a lot of other things discussed. She talked about the president coming today at the All Liberian Diaspora Conference. She also spoke of a lot of things, the Sunday events that is coming up soon. So we anticipate a lot of things to unfold, but it's very important that we pay some attention to this. The president just spoke to the UNGA. We have a lot of government officials here. The Minister of Finance is here. The Minister of Foreign Affairs is here. The Minister of Information is also here. We have a lot of other deputy ministers. I think the Minister of Education is here. A lot of government officials that I cannot call now, they're all here in DC. So we're going to spend some very important time to ensure that some of these things will unfold, and we just have to focus before we can go to this calendar issue and other things. I'm trying to see if I can place a call to Peabody that is currently attending the conference, to just hear from him some of the basic things that unfolded today. It's important that we will get to some of these things, and also hear from because it's important, and hear from Mr. Gayman or Mr. Nagbe, the update about this coming the coming a CMC program that's expected to unfold in Philadelphia. It's important. So there are a lot of other things back to this conference. A lot of other things. What is it? Because Miss Dr. Durham says something that is very important, if I can recall. He stated that what he's going to do, he's going to be very committed to this. They're going to document these things, and he's going to make a lot of follow-up to ensure that most of the outcome of this will be implemented. And all these sections that are unfolding now, that we will have to put into place very important issues. And this issue will go a long way in trying to bring a clear-cut agenda to our plan as to how the country intends to move, particularly those here in the diaspora, those here in the US, in Europe, Africa, other part of Africa, China, and across the globe. What is the plan? What are we contemplating? What is the way forward? There'll have to be a lot of things to be done, and if you will, and all those things, So, Myean, are you there? So, Myean, are you there? I'm trying to get to Myean. I need him to play a part of just a minute. I'm trying to get to him. Just trying to get a Myean quick and see. So as I was basically trying to get a Myean to allow him play, and he's going to play some of these issue I will get into. That's what I was just trying to pull up here, but just a minute. There have been a lot of different issues unfolding also relative to this drug situation in the country. And today, a Salvadorian officer, not officer, a Salvadorian citizen was arrested with a huge quantity of marijuana. In other words, opium, we call it, or weed. And and that is illegal in Liberia. Weed, marijuana, the same name, is illegal in Liberia. And most of those things are even and part of, and that's one of the reasons why we want to commend the current head, the acting head of the LDEA. I think the guy is doing some very good job, and we ought to commend him for the job he's doing. Because if you were to poke into what is unfolding in the country currently, as per the way they're going, the intelligence issue, the deployment, I think the intelligence is very accurate and efficient. If they continue on this path and not interrupt it, there's going to be a lot of things we're going to see unfold. And if folks will see Liberia as a kind of a trapping ground for these things, we ought, as a country, we ought to take some appropriate action against these people. Because if we don't do it, our country is going to be the dumping ground, and they're going to the whole ground going to get soaked with drugs. And it's going to affect thousands, hundreds, thousands of young people. And then we'll prepare off to have a bleak society. So it is about time that we first be firm on it to stamp this drugs issue that's unfolding in the country. Today you hear that the same Kipman. So most of those drugs, so the way to handle this is to be very robust at the Liberian-Sierra border. And the Liberian-Sierra border is not only in Kipman. Most of those things will come from that end, because it's from the water side of the border. Most of the drugs, the tramadol, the cruise, the marijuana, and other recent one I just started coming in again, most of them will come via the Sierra side, because those corn optics and other things, crooks are all there. Those Fitan Bobo and all of the guys. And they will use that in liaise with some unscrupulous element back in our own country to deposit these dangerous narcotics into the country to damage the young people. So it's about time that we focus and be very clear as a government. And everybody should support the government. Give some intelligence to the police, or to the immigration, or to the DEA. If you suspect that those even security apparatus are collaborators, you report them. There should be a hotline. I'm told the DEA do have a hotline. I'm trying to even make some connection and contact with the current DEA's chief. He's doing some very good job. I knew from the University of Liberia, the police and all of things. He's doing a good job. I underestimated that he would have done this on a serious note. I'm proud that he's doing it, and I think he needs some support. The logistic, we have to give him the logistic, because the president needs some very good commitment to that. So we ought to, and I'm saying this way because this from this perspective, to being monolithic here this evening, I'm trying to push him, because I'm contemplating moving forward. Beginning October, I'll be having a daily podcast to give the narrative of as per how we can do a lot of things from a diplomatic perspective, from a political perspective, from a cultural and social perspective, from a religious perspective. So we will collectively understand the pathway we intend to move as a country. It's important that we do that, because we sit every day, we don't want to sit and lay it back and see the country move in the direction it's going. We ought to be open and balanced. And that's what I was saying about the former president's house that was gutted by fire quite recently. If the police is trying to come in and conduct an investigation, and they've been stopped by the former president and or his people, it's not a good thing for the country. And on the other side of it, the police will have to operate for everyone to trust the police. If everybody cannot trust the police is worthless, because the police interact with the community. It's very important that we strike this balance and try to structure something to believe that we're moving forward to a country that we all want to see progress in a more progressive agenda. if we would have some knee-jerk approach towards these things, those counterproductive thinkers that want to stall or stem the country progress, then we ought to come in and speak to that and clear the way to move forward. That's why it's important that we support the government in dealing with the job situation in the country. It's very important. The current DEA acting boss is doing some very fantastic job, and he ought to be supported not only by the government. The government is going to give the logistic support to him, but we ought to support him now morally. And by that, we, the people, can give other intelligence to the hotline. And that intelligence will go a long way in trying to get the guys from their hideouts. Because those intelligence will move in and they will use the intelligence to move one step ahead of the drugs guys and get them rooted out. And the best approach to receiving intelligence from the community, because they will interact. Just a young woman will be interacting on the drugs law, and she will know somebody, she will talk to somebody. And that's why when you are in New York, the first time I ever visited New York, I was in the bus or on the train, from the bus to the train. I was there, yeah, when you see something, say something. And that's good, because if you see something and say something, you can prevent big things from happening. So that's the thing. So we Liberians will have to do that. Look at the amount of kilogram of marijuana that was seized from this guy, this Fitan Bobo. So it's important that we do some of these things and ensure that we play a very more proactive role in helping to move our country forward. It's very important here. And we ought to understand as people, as country, we will all sit today, we'll discuss it tomorrow, that we feel the country. And it's about time that we be more very alert in discussing this. It's beyond partisan politics. Let's remove the partisan thing from there and then try to approach it from a nationalistic perspective. It's important because if you remove the partisan side of it and you bring to bear the patriotic nature of your thought process, you're going to now start to see things in different lens. If we all sit one day and say, okay, to hell with this party, to hell with this other party, bring back nationalism, and you're going to see what's going to happen. Because sometimes the reason why we are very combative with one another is because we believe and we want to be loyal to our individual political party. And sometimes most of the political party, we are selfishly engaged in things for our personal aggrandizement. I mean, personal interests. That's what I meant by that. Personal aggrandizement. It's not for our personal, for the country national interest. No, it's for individuals' interests. Someone will come and say, okay, they're doing that because they anticipate being appointed. They're not doing this because they want the country to be free. Because, listen, if we were to collectively fight the menace in the country about the drug situation, what you're going to do is we're going to make the country look good. Now, most of the young boys and most of the victims, 80% or 75%, I mean, because I'm told now the females themselves are aggressively getting into this drug situation. But 75, even at that, 75% of those that are abusing drugs in the country, our male counterpart. And if more men went to jail or more men got killed, it caused some problem for the country. Now, the population of the country is very small, and we have not been thinking about that. We need more men to be on ground so that we can procreate, born more babies. The population of the country is small. If you're putting more men into jail, it's not a good thing. There's a debate about those things coming out in the country. You listen to what President Trump said the last time. He said America need more babies. America's population is almost 360 million people. There's a lot of other countries now in Africa, in other places, in Europe. They're calling for more babies. So if the men would be putting themselves into certain category because the drug will damage many things, damage them, and they won't be, so that we're facing some national issue. How can we move the country forward if the drug situation is going to be this way? It's a troubling development. So we all collectively we have to sit down and come back to the realization that it is about time that we focus. And not only we focus on it from the perspective of a narrow a personal angle, but we look at it from the distant line for the national good of the country. And if it is for the national good of the country, it's going to collectively impact the country in a more positive way. And if that were to happen, then you start seeing more positivity coming out of the country. If you were to move into the country, you walk sometimes, you take your gadget and you try to place a call, and you're not going to look on top of your shoulders to see who's coming again to either pull your phone off, or you walking with your wife or your sister or your daughter, and then you see someone on the motorbike coming to pull the chain from the neck. It is because some of these guys believe they will have to fund this kind of the habit of engaging in drugs and other things. They will be forced to do those kind of very terrible and things to their fellow compatriot. I've seen driving in Monrovia, seeing someone on the motorbike trying to pull someone's chain. Yes, you have to be brave, extremely brave to do that. Extremely brave. So there's a lot of situations unfolding in the country that is not good, and we have to pay more attention to it. And the same drug situation today will put more time will be between that and the situation back here in DC. The same drug situation yesterday. Calando is saying to us that his trucks that he fired all of his drivers. He said he got eight of those tankers that transport petroleum product across the country.
Something went wrong. Please try again.
To petroleum transport petroleum product across the country. He parked all of them in a particular garage. But here's the irony, or here's the most bizarre situation. The reason why I'm saying it's so bizarre is that you park the truck, and how come someone's going to get the truck, and you the owner of the truck, you have no clue whatsoever. But we're hearing now that this truck, they found about 48 cartons of tramadol, one of the dangerous drugs ever. 48 cartons of those on the truck. And up to now, we haven't heard any. And we will get to the bottom of this. We really want to know. I'm not saying Calando is engaged or involved. What I'm saying is that it is a strange thing. It's very bizarre here that we need to get more information on how this guy got the truck from the garage. When this garage was parked, what instruction did you give when you park your truck inside a garage? And we ought to know, and we ought to also do some deeper interrogation of this guy to understand if he were under the instruction of anybody to go and get the truck. There are ways the police, the security can conduct some of those psychological interrogation, so to come to the conclusion as to if one is involved or one is not involved. We have to be a little mindful to not be sentimental, granted, but to be more professional and apply all of the investigative tactics to there, so we extract some realistic information. Because if those trucks were parked in a particular garage, then how come the truck is in Cape Mount conveying those dangerous narcotics into our capital city? How come? It's a truck that you fire all of the drivers because they were involved into some sinister thing, as you said, some clandestine operation, as you said, in terms of transporting the petroleum product across the country. You park the trucks, or you park all of those trucks, if you will, 911 trucks. So one of them is in Cape Mount, now conveying drugs, because these are kind of a way to transport, because these are tankers. They are way to do it. They would think the police, the security would not, and that's the brilliant thing. And I want to believe there was intelligence sharing mechanism that came out. Look, there you go. Intelligence sharing. Somebody saw these guys putting these narcotic, the tramadol boxes in that tanker, and then call the security apparatus. There you go. So we will have to go beyond this and just want to say, okay, Calando will come and have a press conference and say, well, I don't know my truck, then we stop there. And we don't do, listen, I believe that we have some serious, powerful hand behind the drug scene in Liberia. And if we were to begin the process of going for them and investigating and getting some of them and put them behind bars, the drug scene will never get to the end of it. But Maya, I want you to play part of what he said yesterday during the press conference. Yes, please go ahead.
Can you speak to that, sir?
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to the listening audience out there. About this morning, I think to be exact, around 10 o'clock, someone called me from the police that my truck was in Cape Mount. And my truck was being arrested. I asked the guy, how is that possible? Because to the best of my knowledge, my trucks are supposed to be parked in Johnsonville. So a guy that takes care of all our trucks, we own, as a matter of fact, we own up to 8 trucks that are movable. So I decided to do my own background check to find out how my truck got into Cape Mount. There's a young man by the name of Cassie. He's a distributor. So the last time he was using my trucks, and I parked all my trucks, I told him, as a matter of fact, I dismissed all my drivers. This is over 2 months ago. So my trucks are supposed to be parked. So I called Cassie, how is it? They say my truck, have you taken my truck? Have you sent my truck anywhere? He said, yes, Chief, I had a load yesterday and the people purchased 4,000 gallons. They took the product to bomb it. I said, no. The information I'm getting from the police is that my truck was in Cape Mount. So he said, well, there's this guy who bought product. He told us that he wanted to rent the truck. And I gave the truck. He said they were going to go, including the product, they were going to go to Cape Mount, then they will come with the money. So I can just give you the truck loading order or the delivery orders of the product that was lifted yesterday. I'll give you the number. Delivery order number 1-01984. It contains 500 gallons. Delivery order number 2-01985, another 500 gallons. Delivery order number 3-01977, 3,000 gallons. A total of 4,000 gallons. These products were not even purchased from our company. They were purchased from Petrol Trade. I repeat.
The product was purchased
from Petrol Trade.
So how did your truck,
That's it. So that is the nature myself, because Petrol Trade also got their own trucks. How they product from Petrol Trade, 500 gallons and 3,000 gallons, total of 4,000 gallons, got into our truck that is supposed to be packed. But according to Cassie is a distributor. This man was looking for trucks. That's how they gave our truck to take this product.
The Petrol Trade, man?
No, well, there's another agent for Petrol Trade. He talked with this Cassie guy.
Who is Cassie?
Cassie is a distributor. It's a distributor of petroleum products. You understand? So they were looking for a car that how they put this 4,000 gallons with the understanding that they are going to go bring the money from wherever they were carrying the product. I did not know. All I know, my trucks should be packed until this morning when all the thing came about. After police got to know that, I got to know that police, you understand, have arrested my truck. I got to know that the man who took the product told the driver that he had money to come to bring the money back to Monrovia, according to Cassie. It's personally, because when I got to know this morning, I called him directly and told him to go to the police station to report himself. He complied and went to the police station. He's with the police as I speak to you. Yeah, Cassie, the driver, the man who bought the product, they are all with the police. To the best of my knowledge, the guy said the driver, neither Cassie does not know nothing about what transpired. According to Cassie, the driver, when he arrived in Grand Cape Man, he told the owner of the product, told the guy that he had money to bring to Monrovia. That the guy allowed him to put those boxes. Yeah. Yeah, that's Tomato. That's how we gotta know now that drops. Now how to put it into the truck to come. But the product number for us, we don't know nothing about it. My trucks are being packed at Johnsonville.
Can you
there,
hold it there? We'll continue. Just pause it right there for now. We'll continue. We'll continue. And you see, that's the point. So he got the detail about this thing. The guy told him when they took it, number one, petrol tray got more trucks even than Kalando.
Yeah.
Petrol tray is very aggressive in the petroleum business in Liberia. This product, I will hope, and again, the only thing we're going to hear, and I agree, the only thing we're going to hear in this thing is that the driver colluded with some people to do this, and they will take that innocent man, boom, locking up. If you listen to what Ms. Kalando said, or Councilor Kalando said, is that he got the whole detail that the guy, even those that they said had some money. Then what the hell? You tell me people got money in boxes, money in 42 different boxes. And Cassie is telling him that. But ironically, Petrol Trail got a lot of trucks. This is their product. If they are lifting, because of the language they have, if they are lifting Petrol Trail product, why wouldn't their truck can lift the product into Cape Town? But you are using Kalando, one of Kalando trucks that being grounded for some time. I mean, it sounds a little feature here and funny. But
that's what all Liberians were saying, because when this interview was done, people started to give their own point of view on it, because based on his own statement, started to make others confused. Because if you saying that this truck that they are talking about is not your truck, but you have similar truck that they are, this truck that they are talking about, your name is on this truck, but basically he's saying that his truck were parked in Johnsonville. Yeah. How this truck managed to remove from Johnsonville to come out? That was the question that was asked. Did you ask the person who you left the truck in charge with them? He said no. But how you managed to get a call that you received that your truck is in Cape Town? He said that a police officer called him. So when the police officer called you, what was your response? What did you told the police officer? According to him, he said that he told the officer that he did not believe it, that because all the trucks were all parked. So at that moment, he never placed call to the garage or placed call to where the truck were parked.
Yeah. Go ahead, conclude.
Yeah, it was later when he saw the photo on the social media, he saw the drugs, and it was how it drew his attention and started to call people from all angles. And later it was almost like everyone have already know about it. So
unfortunately, Cassie communicated from where he's a counselor, but he didn't help himself. If we had some independent, if our security point in the country, they're fair. And in Liberia, if you got money, you can get out of anything. And that's the unfortunate thing in the country. But just from the interview he conducted with the press, Cassie updated him on everything. He knew about the truck leaving. But now the fact that now the phone drops on the truck, he's trying to now say, hey, he didn't know anything about the trucks. And the truck were all packed. He said his trucks are considered packed. They are all grounded in Johnsonville. But yes, the most something that is very ironic and feature here is that Petrol got a lot of trucks to lift their own product. Why is it that Your truck that's already grounded is all the way in Kitman, one of them. And then the guy said, okay, they took the product now. Oh, I got some money. I want to carry some money. Come on. Why would you got money? You want to take money from Kitman to Monrovia? Those boxes of money, put it in a car, just like your money, put it in a car and carry it. Anybody stop you wanting to buy my money? Oh, I'm a business person. That's the proof of me getting the money. But no, you want to put the money in the petrol tanker that no one will even come to the realization that something is in there because it's moving. It's empty though, but you got something in there, and that's how most of the dangerous elements and substances get into our country.
Exactly.
Because
That's why all Liberians. Yeah.
No, I'm going to say the country is increasingly poor, and the folks that are working in the different security apparatus are themselves increasingly poor and destituted. So it is to the detriment of the innocent community people, the innocent citizens. Because if these things come out, the young people seeing this thing, they will abuse them. The only way to stop these things now, look at what people say. What you want to say about him? Look what is happening. Before you to have a lot of fentanyl coming across the border, the fact that they stop most of those things now, the fentanyl death in this country have reduced tremendously. Because if you stop the drugs from coming in, you're going to stop a lot of damages that the drugs can do. It's simple as A, B, and C. But if you know, and in particularly in Liberia, poor people are not behind the drugs coming to the country. They're seeing guys that pretend to be money boys, and that the thing are making them to have money, allegedly. And for now, I'm not saying he's involved, but from what he explained, we have to do more investigation into this thing. I think the security apparatus should put more attention on this and deeper. And the reason he's signing this, what I want to believe, they need to talk to Cassie. They need to talk to the driver. It's not because at the end of the day, trust me, and I'm going to make some effort to talk to the DEA acting chief. Because what we're going to know from this case is maybe probably tomorrow or the day after, or next week. Now, because today is Friday, we're going to hear that the driver was charged, and maybe one of them charged with smuggling drugs into the country, and he's remanded in jail pending trial. It's going to be all. Then they will not be behind the scene working now. You say, oh, he will be doing. We ought to get, if we cannot get to the root cause of the drugs coming to the country, we're going to be into this thing. A lot of young people, young men, and few other young women will get damaged. It's a serious thing in Liberia. And that's why you see this very common talk we're talking about here now. That the drug, when those guys take that particular thing in, they can be zero. I don't even know, will be body, boom. Boom. Imagine. So we want to sit today and think we want to protect the country moving forward, but we don't want to do anything that we try to say it's about time that we move as national leaders collectively to stem this thing, because this is going to be it's a serious epidemic. And those that are bringing it, these are the well-privileged people in the country. The former deputy DA chief said it, and he was dismissed for saying that. And it's true. It's true, man. And so I don't know if that's part of that. I mean, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. So like what happened recently. That's why all the Liberians are saying that we have to be very careful. We have to be very mindful, because some of these business tycoons that we are seeing in Liberia, don't forget about it, because others are saying that they are the same people. They are alleging that they are the same people who are transporting drugs within our country. Because if you see one of Liberia's top business tycoon coming in his drugs, allegedly bringing in drugs, so it's something like you have to call the attention of everyone. You have to call it. So when this incident took place, I sat with older folk who was he within the government. He was narrating Kalano's story to me about how Kalano became a businessman, how he came about, who brought him into the country, and what have you. He started to narrate some of these stories, how he was working to LPRC during the war and what have you. So many things he explained. So we cannot just sit and just conclude. We have to wait on the Liberia National Police, who have to wait on the Drugs Enforcement Agency. Like they invited him this week, and then he appealed for Monday so that he can be able to appear for hearing, so they can ask him some questions. His drug is being linked to this drugs issue. So we still are waiting. We still hoping to see from now to Monday how this entire drugs issue is going to be like. But people might be careful with these business owner, because probably maybe if you're having a cruise and then you see a top business a man or woman have that truck, and then you want to put your goods on it, you might be like afraid. You don't want to put your goods on it because probably maybe they might be transporting something else. And we cannot say, like people will say, like when people will say it's not a common people that are bringing drugs within the country. These are the same lawmakers. These are the same business people, the hurricanes within our country. These are the same people that are bringing drugs. So if we sit and just say, yeah, the poor people or the local people are the ones, no, they are not the ones. They are just the ones that they are using to be able to sell these drugs. Because if they bring it in the country and they don't have nothing doing, no work doing, the government is not providing jobs for them, they will be able to use it. And just imagine, I was sitting with some of the disadvantaged youth, Mr. Pewee. They were narrating some of the stories, how they can get the boost. Because if you bring the boost in, you're having so many tabs. They were naming they have a tab that they can be able to use. Is a tablet, and then if you bring it, is another part of the push, but that one is not like the way they can mix it up, because there are so many things you can mix up to get that flavor where in they can give you the spark and that. So if you bring it into the country, there's a tablet having 10 to 20 strips. If you bring it into the country, you buy it approximately around 3,000 or 2,000, you're getting profit that is double than that money that you're spending. So if you bring it into the country and then give it to people who don't have even food to eat, or people who don't have food to feed their family, and then in that community you have huge people who are buying these substances, they will be able to consume it because they will see that person to be, oh yeah, this is our loyalty. That person will be highly guarded by residents of that area, most especially people that can consume this. You see, if you go there to go buy, you'll not be like suffering to look for direction or location. Just
Exactly.
tell the person to, yeah,
yeah, exactly. I'm here. Exactly the point. But yeah, yes, what I want to say, and I know some here whosoever, listen, we respect folk that will come here, and we up to allow you to understand what we discuss sometimes. No one definitively came out with the conclusion that we accusing Mr. Kalando. And that's the problem in Liberia, right? These guys corrupt the system and sometimes give pin-ups to some of you better driven elements and believe that we don't. Nobody said he's behind this thing. Nobody said that.
no, that's not what we are saying. We said we're still waiting on the Liberia
what we
National
said,
Police.
there should be some serious investigation behind this to come
Yeah.
out facts. But why would he chucks be packed, and he seems to be having a lot of information? So he should be a person of interest to give more information to help us uncover this whole for the eight carton of drugs that were brought into the country. That's what we're saying. Somebody, let me say this to you: this whole drug thing may not personally affect you, but may affect your brother, your sister's sons, your uncle children, or cousin children, if you will, or even French children.
But
And
Mr. Pewee, no one in Liberia is free. No family member in Liberia is free from that.
We're not targeting a particular group of people. So I want you to understand this. Sometimes you guys do these things because you have an affiliation with certain people. When they are even linked to some investigation, you guys go all loose to start saying all sort of things. But this is intended to conduct the investigation and come out also, because it is the trucks are not for the driver. And nobody would take that kind of huge truck and just take it at will and move with it and taking a petroleum product of almost 4,000 gallon, lifting that amount of petroleum product. It will have to involve the owner of those trucks, if you will. So no one's pointing accusing finger here, but we are all just sensitive to the matter that it requires some deeper investigation so that we can unearth the mystery behind the way the drugs came. Now he said the man said it was money. It sounds very bizarre here that someone was looking for a carton of money and wanting to pour it in a petroleum tanker, if you will. So it's important that we we come back to ourselves and believe that we can project the country moving forward. Because if you protect the interests of the country and not an individual, what you're doing, you're protecting your unborn children for tomorrow. But if you don't do that, and you just want to do as per what you think the person can do for you, or the person have done for you before, and you want to, you believe that's the best way to reciprocate that gesture, I mean, it's not the way to go, because the person will do this and will do more harm to the country tomorrow. And that's what we're saying. We want to get to the bottom of how the drugs came to the country. And you should understand, as per law also, if your property would be given, knowingly or unknowingly, in other country that the rule of law is respected and adhered to, there's consequence for these things. So they will do some investigation. They will do some phone calls. It's very costly, and there will be time they will interrogate these people. They will come up with some arrangement to say, okay, we can let you do this, we tell the facts about this. That's what we're saying. We're not calling nobody's name for now. You're getting so jitter in this thing about, oh, we shame me, blame me. No. The intent of this show is not to say we blow it up things for people to just come because we try to be sensational. And it's difficult. There are certain things that now you say we are being sensationalistic. I didn't come here today in that sensationalistic mindset. No. But again, people will say things that are sensational due to the nature of it. Due to the nature of it. And so we all sometimes we have to be mindful as to how we intend to go about the conversation. You listen to the man. And if you have the time, go play from where you stop, go by and play so Samuel will listen to him. I'm saying that. Listen to him.
Kasi is a distributor. It's a distributor of petroleum
I should
products.
get back to
You understand?
okay.
No,
So,
it's okay there.
They were looking for a car that they put this 4,000 gallons with the understanding
Myean, stop there again.
that they are going to go bring.
Who is Cassie? Cassie is a distributor. They were looking for car. Now, how will you be looking for car? Sammy, I want you to listen to this. How will you be looking for car when Petrol Trade got a lot of trucks? The product is not for Kalando. This is not Kalando product. He said it. Myean, continue.
Money from wherever they were carrying the product. I do not know. All I know, my trucks should be packed until this morning when all the thing came about. After police got to know that, I got to know that police, you understand, have arrested my truck. I got to know that the man who took the product told the driver that he had money to come to bring the money back to Monrovia, according to Cassie. It's personally, because when I got to know this morning, I called him directly and told him to go to the police station.
So the man told Cassie, the driver, according to Cassie. So meaning there's a chain. This thing Cassie got a Kalando is talking about. Here Kalando, I think it's a distributor, they in business. The person allegedly that got the cartons of drugs, the tramadol, told the driver, one, and the driver told Cassie. According to Cassie, the driver told him the man had 48 cartons of money. 48 cartons of money. And said the product was not Kalando product. The product was for Petrol Trade. Go ahead.
To report himself. He complied and went to the police station. He's with the police as I speak to you. Yeah, Cassie. Cassie, the driver, the man who bought the product, they are all with the police. To the best of my knowledge, the guy said the driver, neither Cassie does not know nothing about what transpired. According to Cassie, the driver, when he arrived in Grand Cape Man, he told the owner of the product, told the guy that he had money to bring to Monrovia. That how the guy allowed him to put those boxes. Yeah. Yeah, that's Tomadol. That's how we got to know now that drops. Now how they put it into the truck to come. But they put our number for us. We don't know nothing about it. My trucks have been packed at Johnsonville. How it went down there, it's only a mystery.
So you don't know anything about it?
Nothing. Nothing. In fact, it's the police that informed me this morning that my truck was in Teni, to be exact, that there were drugs on the truck. How is that possible?
So what your driver is?
Agency as the headquarters. Let's see that all the guys who have been using the swamps and ghettos to sell drugs.
So you guys were hired by
The same boy who the guy talked to, the Cassie boy.
Are you willing to assist the police to put down to the letter of the
Oh yes, I'm behind. I'm working closely because we want to make sure this guy are prosecuted to the fullest.
Mr. Kalana, at what hour did the police call you this morning?
I think almost around 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Which hour you expected for your truck to be packed?
My truck, as I told you, should have been packed.
Should have been packed.
Packed.
So you're
Because
not-
I've dismissed all my drivers. My truck is not supposed to be out there until I'm ready to recruit new drivers.
So you mean it simply means that this driver was using the truck behind you? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Knowing the taxi boy went behind me and went to the garage and got the truck unknown to me.
So the garage turned the truck over to him without your consent. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So
This-
what is Cassie telling you right now? Since it's more than you pay score to Cassie?
Yeah. I told him if I had to go to the police station. By the time I got informed by the police, I called him and he's a law-abiding citizen. He went to the police
Have you
station.
contacted the garage owner? If yes, what the owner of the garage telling you, giving your truck out without your knowledge?
As I said, this young man who used to use my truck. And I've told them that, hello, I was tired because you can't use 4 of my trucks and every
Man,
week
stop
you
there,
come
Red.
straight. You got only 500.
That's a very good question that the last journalist asked just now. Where you normally park the trucks, how would the garage owner turn the truck over to someone with higher knowledge? Then he says, meaning, I want to believe from here, from that priority of reasoning, that he may have given Cassie the right to maybe move there anytime and get the truck. He and Cassie do business now. Because if Cassie will go and get the truck, without the truck, the garage owner seeking his permission, that's a problem. So there's a need for serious investigation in this matter. Because Cassie, I gave my truck to Myean. I said, Myean, these are my property. I'm granting all of them because my drivers are very reckless, very irresponsible, very corrupt, and part of a lot of reasons. So I'm not going to I'm going to grant the truck for now. And then, shockingly, Samson moved to the garage to Myean, and Myean is giving my truck to Samson. Well, I'm an acquiescent. I didn't acquiesce in that. I didn't acquiesce it. So how come Myean would do certain thing without following my final instruction, if you will? So I mean, there's a need for us to really go more deeper into this thing and investigate. And that's what we're saying. Then you have other agent provocateurs that are deployed to come and say nonsense in this place. So sometimes we do things in the way and manner to protect the interest of the country. It's not for the narrow parochial interest of our individual selves. No. It's not for the narrow parochial interests. It should be for the bigger picture. And that picture is to focus more or less on what we want to see the country move, how the country should forge on. And that's why we enter our people that are realistic, that are nationalistic, that are patriotic. Because if we are to do that, we do better together instead of trying to attack each other individually. Because for the narrow interest of ourselves, if we're getting $10 today, $50, $100 today, what that man will give you becomes nothing. But if a child feature was to be damaged in the country because of him abusing those dangerous substances, if you will, it's going to to do a lot of things to the country. That child will have been a medical doctor tomorrow. That child will have been a classroom teacher tomorrow, a university professor tomorrow. But that child will have been, because most of those that are now abusing the drugs, these are underage kids. Some of them 16, 17, 14, 15, even in their early teens, also in their late teens, rather, 18, 19. And that cutoff point, these are potential future leaders of the country that can go to be artists, special, because the country is already suffering this huge gap. We have a lot of things unfolding in the country that we need to double up. We need to build, because lucky to be said, a country, an educated nation will always thrive in a very wonderful economy. But if you have a country that the youth are not educated, that is a recipe for more problem in a country. It's a recipe for chaos. It will be more chaotic. And we have to find the means to get to that instead of trying to defend. The best way to do these things sometimes just stay clear and allow the investigators to do their job. But to come and say people are targeting people when things are clear, and that in the West, in the developed world, that's how you see folks are arrested, detained, incarcerated, adjudicated. There's a litigation, and sometimes, if convicted, they remand them to jail because the people do investigation. There are chain of investigation they conduct, and when they conduct these things, they see the way, and they will have probable cause to move to do things. This whole scenario about the press conference yesterday opened a lot of Pandora boxes, if you will. Not no one, a lot of Pandora boxes. And there's a need that we talk to the government or those security apparatus that are clogged with their responsibility to conduct this kind of an investigation. We have to go more deeper and get some of the facts, and we use it. Because if you use those people that are bringing the drugs, if you just go and get the distributors themselves, the conveyors, because we have the distributors and we have the other individual conveyors. Some of them probably can abuse it, they're not abusing it, but those that are conveying it and those that are bringing it, the conduits, are those that we need to collect and expose. We need to bust that net. If you cannot bust that, you will never succeed in it, because those that are importing, bringing the drugs, the mastermind, if we can get them, and we will not get the distributors and the users, we're going nowhere, because you will get those, the user themselves, even they are victim, because the thing is, it's a kind of an addiction, right? You get addicted to it in no time. We are humans, and that's why sometimes I see the young guys doing what they do. I feel bad. They are humans. They get addicted in no time, and we get addicted to it. It's difficult not to get out. So the way to do it is to just declare a war. And we declare the war, don't declare the war on the users or those that are the conveyors. Declare the war on those that are bringing it into the country. Get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lock them up. And don't play, lock them up seriously. If they got any property, because if it's established that it's because of that other property they have, everything, seize it. And the government will use that, the proceeds will go to those that are being destroyed. And that's what the law says. There's a comprehensive law we have, the drug law of the country. Proceeds from the sale of the drugs that you brought in the country will go to rehabilitate those that have been damaged from the drugs. So that's the way to do it. So we need to have frank conversation about this. This is going to affect every Liberian. If it's not in your home, it's in the next neighbor home. If you cannot stop that from spreading, it will leave from that neighbor home to the next home. So I was the last time in the country we're discussing this. There's no commitment. There's one of my picking that can normally come to me. He came to me. He seen from my post. He talking to me, coming at this. He said, "Uncle Pewee, I know what I can say." He literally came from the grave in my community, and I would call them. We'll have conversation. He said, when you do this, I will do that. I'll do that. But it's difficult. It's the addiction. It's addiction. In my community in Liberia, those kids sleep in the grave. Everyone was there. One of the picking from the other side across the road in Dixville. He came on the one he went with his friends. They came back and poop around the road that he dropped in a shop and then saw him dead. And that's the even my picking was telling me. Picking, I wanted to begin the community. And normally would say on error and other things. And now we pray for them every day. It's a serious situation. So there's no community. You in the Balanceville area, the Suffolk, every community today in Liberia, particularly in the urban side of our society, all those urban areas. I'm not talking about the rural side. Probably some of the rural community, even these guys are moving these things into those rural areas. But no, it's not really spread that way, the way we have it spread in major urban cities like Monrovia, Buchanan. I'm told some part of Banga, Kakata. I mean, Kitman, the Sinjay area, the Bow Waterside area, that's a conduit. That's a major point to convey these dangerous narcotics to the country, the Bow Waterside border. And there's other parts. Now, the unfortunate situation of our country is that our borders are very porous. So due to the porous nature of the borders, it's difficult to mend these borders by just physical checkpoints, if you will. If you set a major checkpoint to this, it is what they will do. Now, like I can recall during the time before the Love Silver crisis erupted in 1999 against Mr. Taylor, there's a time the president was having press conference. He said it's difficult to mend the borders. It's true. I didn't know until I did a visit one time we crossed, because you cross from this point, there's a major way that have a road dealing with vehicle. They say, okay, this is a major checkpoint. Every vehicle, every center in the country, we have to pass through trade and other things between Liberia and Guinea, Liberia and Sierra Leone, Liberia and Cote d'Ivoire. Okay, it's Guinea, it's going to pass through here. Like for instance, in Lofas, there's a district area, they have, I think, 3 major crossing points that got vehicular traffic. You have one in Yela, in Mantown. Yela town is coming in there. But beyond, if you leave that major crossing point, if you want to use a footpath, you got more than 200 other points that you can use to bypass and enter. And people smuggle a lot of things between. So the way to do it is just through human intelligence, and the community going to help us. So we have a lot of things, the borders are difficult to mend. But the way we do it through intelligence sharing, nobody protecting, because this thing is not going to destroy one group of family now. It's going to destroy the entire country if we don't take some care yet. So that's the only thing we will do. But to sit down and want to think that you want to throw, there's nobody saying that the other lady that arrested the last, I think she's staying in jail. How they were calling her name, I don't know, Quita. I don't know, that's the name, Myean?
The day that was arrested from the Broward International Airport.
Yeah, one of the lady was, so it made big news out there on the social media. About,
she's the one.
Okay, yes, man. That's, I don't know, we don't know, but you got to make some investigation behind. What's the update of that? She stay in jail?
No, she was released on grounds that someone put something in between. That was the cause.
Also, she was released.
Yes, she released.
But you see, so we heard a lot of things about that. You know, so we ought to understand why these things are happening in the country. And the way to go about it is just simple psychology. The security people themselves are human beings. And you do that approach. If you want to do the gang approach, that I think you can get the community. And go in the community, do community this community engagement methodology. The community engagement methodology will get out of results. Sit with a woman that probably son is having this kind of, and sometimes also the parents will be in denial. They don't want to see their children doing that. They don't want. I saw that part of my own area. I saw that also in other part of the society. The parent will be in denial. They don't want to do something. But if the parents is also in line to fight this thing and not in denial and waiting to call the security apparatus whenever see the son or children with certain things, dealing with some friends doing some things, and you go behind it, call your come my children and you're doing something, I don't know what they're doing. Come, the people move to do that. If every parent were to do that, we can stem this thing. But it's difficult because certain parents are in denial. They don't want to do it, and they see their children bringing it in their home, and they get to be, I don't know how to put it. They will collude with them. In other words, if they know it's bringing some money, then they start to also be the one under the, then the gentleman will leave it. Oh, when you go, my mom will take and give to you. Some of them will put it to the lapper. When the people come to their wall, open it, give it, get the money, send it up. I mean, that's it. It's a serious problem. It's a serious problem. That's why it's damaging the country. So we ought to understand. We ought to understand a lot of things about this whole thing here, and just call it something to ensure that I'm seeing something is on something. Is there any update you have for us today?
I think something is in the bag.
It's in the bag.
Yes, no, he's on, but he's
Okay,
not.
okay.
Yeah. So, Mr. Pewee, that's the situation we are seeing in Liberia. Most of our disadvantaged youth, we see a lot of them are out there. And one of the things I've noticed about this entire drugs is that I was not up to the tax, or I was not at this stage. But one of the things that I observed is that around 2010, 2011, if you talk about drugs dealer, if you talk about people who take in drugs, these are people who used to be brave. These are people who, when you see them, you used to be afraid. But then we had one of the names that we used to get in the street, that they're all busy, different kind of names. We have so many names. We have big names, like we have groups from Congo Town. We have some group from Pinsville, so many locations. So when these people meet together, you will really know that, yeah, we're having so many people on the street. But nowadays, if you see some disadvantage, yes, yeah, at the age of maybe 15, 16, probably you can beat that person that is around 20 or 25, as long as they are taking in that substance. But before, if someone is taking that substance, you will not be able to battle them, because they have the strength, they have the power. Because if you see them, they used to bugger around people's houses, used to go into people, into poor area, to enter on people. They had the strength, they had the power. But nowadays, you hardly better see them. You just maybe if you see someone bugger around people's houses, you see that maybe someone who have gun. But during those days, they now used to go with gun. In 2010, 2011, they just used to carry their hands. Sometimes you see them with steel rod. They enter into your house or your area, and then take what they want, and then come out. Before, you used to see some of them will be on the main street, checking people's phone, taking things from them. But nothing you can see these days. Even the Dopoh area, the entire Pinsville used to be one of the risky area. Even Dopoh, if you come to go at night around 11, 12, the whole entire place used to be risky. But nowadays, you cannot see none of them. Some of them are there and gone. Some of them, because of the substances they are taking out of this, they have weakened their entire system, weakened their entire cell. They cannot even fight. Some of them, when they stand up alone, they start to drip. But about around 2010, 2011, up to 2015, some of them had the power. When you see some of them, when they're walking, you'll be afraid of them. If you see their face, you see that whole entire structure, you'll be afraid. But now, when you hear about Sogo or Grenade coming, you'll not be afraid, because these are people who just drip, and because of the kind of substances they're taking, the doom making the whole entire system weaken. So I think it's necessary that we keep fighting, because I cannot see any family to come out and say, yes, we don't have anyone within our family that is affected from this, or I've not come across anyone or any relative that is affected. I don't think it's true. Or you have not come across any of your classmates or schoolmates that you are in school together that is affected from this. So I think it's everyone fight. We need to fight to keep making the awareness that Liberia drugs enforcement can be able to target these bowlers and transit points that they are coming into the country. If you just take a patrol around that's not Africa, but Southern Polar, to go to Bowolosa, there's a place at that area. There's a place where the foreigner pass through and enter into Liberia. There's no Polar there, no immigration. Some of these areas, if you go there, you only see one or two security They are there living there. Some of them go into to their houses, sleep, and then daybreak. If they hear that someone is coming, people is coming to the country, that's the time they go to the gate. But they don't have time. So I think it's necessary that our country we have more people who wants to be into the force. You bring them on board, let them do the work. Some people have the passion, some people have the time. It's not everyone that you will keep in the city. It's not everyone that you keep in Moreover to do the work. We have a lot of work that needs to do in the rural part into the various borders that need to go there and do the work. We appreciate the government, we appreciate what they are doing, but my recommendation as a media person, we have to deploy people in the very rural part area where you see some of the rural villages or the town. You see, if you enter there, for you to see police station is very hard. If you get there about 4 to 5 to even find police officer at that police station is very hard. So when there's an incident happening somewhere, and then you call a police officer, and then when they go on that scene, maybe if there are 3 police officers, that all of them would like to go on that scene. And if they go there, another person bring your case, they will tell you that you have to wait until that police officer finish arresting and then go in on the case. So these are things that I think the Liberia National Police need to work on, and even the immigration, the LTA, all of them needs to work together to see how best we can fight against drugs, fight against illegal substances within our country. So, Mr. Pewee, that's it. We have 11 o'clock on the dot from our end here.
Yeah, yeah. I'm seeing a release. I just I'm trying to read through. This release is from Josiah Joke, Director General CSA. I don't know if you guys saw that release in the news today in the warning against. They say it has come to the attention of the CSA that some faculty members who are within the ambit of the Civil Service Agency of public universities and colleges are reportedly planning to stage a national go-slow. I don't know, this is just developing because that is dated on the 26th, and he's warning them. They said the reason for the planned actions remain unclear, but the CSA views such plan with grave concerns and hereby strongly advises all faculty members against engaging in any counterproductive course of action. Faculties are urged to remain calm and exercise restraint and continue their teaching and other academic responsibility without interruptions. CSA's civil servants are bound by the CSA human rights policy, blah 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 blah. So I don't know. This is the development thing. If the CSA is doing a release, and I don't know if there's a way to do the release. I don't know if the release will stop them from doing what they are contemplating. But this is a very serious concern coming. What's the reason that these faculty members from these public universities are saying about this plan? Go slow actions. If they go slow action were to go into motion, it will affect academic institutions, including the University of Liberia, and that's a recipe for more problems. So I think it's about time the government will have to, and the conference is ongoing. I think there's a lot of questions will be going to the president for the town hall about the set agenda on the issue about the University of Liberia and other public university colleges, community colleges, and all those things. So it's important that we network and solve the country problems collectively. And no one should grandstanding. And again, I don't know what the release is going to do by putting the release, or it's not going to stop any potential things from happening. If they intend to go and protest, will they really stop them? I don't think so. The way to do is to engage them. I thought you'd be calling for a meeting between the faculty members and that of if the CSE try to do some intervention, do that, and start to talk about why there are concerns. If there are concerns about not taking pay on time, not having a lot of incentives, so try to do things to incentivize them so that you can disrupt. To disrupt this potential go slow is to do what they're asking for. If you cannot do all, try to move along the road, meet them in the middle to see can we is this what we can do. But to do this in the grandstanding faction, it's not going to help. It may even further exacerbate the situation, and that you may see a very collective national action. And if you call it counterproductive, why would it be counterproductive? Have you engaged them to find out what's the reason behind them trying to go slow? But if you were to call it counterproductive and you think that you wanted them of the civil service human right policy or HR human right policy and they something they are also conversant of, have you been doing what you ought to do in terms of paying them on time, in terms of incentivizing them, different kind of a benefit? Are you meeting that side of it? So it's a very difficult thing we find ourselves in. But we can take few calls and it's after 11 there. Myean, you can get announced. I mean, something. There's no need something being on. He cannot take his call. He cannot answer. He cannot take a call.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. So
Just
probably maybe you just log in and then leave the studio probably.
yeah. So if
Yeah.
you can take some
So you
call,
can you can
me
put your
today.
cost in
Yeah,
zero triple seven.
preparing this thing for yeah.
Yes, 077764986 plus 231 777 64986. And Mr. P, we can also read your number for the diaspora line. So
I'll just call that line. I don't know if they will have interest. Just call the line. They can if they can
okay, so
call
you
on.
can just
Yes.
call our WhatsApp line plus 231 077764986. Let's see what we can pick up our first caller who is on the line. Hello, caller. Yeah, I'm okay. Your name, where do you call from? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I'm Peter. I'm calling for the commercial here.
Kubacho, okay, make your point.
Hello?
Hello, we are getting you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm Peter. I'm calling for the commercial here. My issue is to deal with the church business. I'm suggesting to see that the government should be able to take the full initiative now to start recruiting. Because someone will get a passion now to serve our country, but there's no way. And secondly, again, how can I get my CNC handicap? I want to be a full member of CNC.
Okay, so you can just listen. The CMC show will come up next. You can just listen, then you can put your course into them, and then they will give you the instruction.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. So 077764986. This is the closing argument weekend edition here on Friday. 077764986 plus 231 777 64986. So I'm here with Mr. Sylvester Pewee, and Mr. Nagbe is not here. Mr. Jerome Gayman is also traveling. So we are on this weekend edition. You can put your course in 077764986. So you can make a point on some of the discussion that we are carry on tonight. 077764986. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yeah, your name and where do you call from?
Yeah, I'm calling from my name is John Kawit.
Okay, John Carroll. What's your contribution tonight?
Yeah, my contribution is drama, the drug business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is drug business. I mean, I told me about that. I know, man, that big church because it's supporting government. Government winning the money. I told me about it. The government owing money, getting money, or not talking about money business. After they have very draw, I tell you, you can't have to draw money business between you and government. So now my point is, I will be jobs.
Okay, thank you. You are requesting that the Liberia National Police and the Drugs Enforcement carry on investigation thoroughly.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let's pick up this next call. Hello, caller, Nima, where do you call from?
Hello, this is Agalum Boris. I'm calling from Omega Wofi.
Okay, Omega Ofi, make your point tonight.
Thanks for the topic. I think it is a good thing to investigate Mr. Kalano, what I give back for this government or whatever it is. Nobody is bigger in the country that we are fighting for. You know, I think the vision thing is it should be holistic. So what I or in it, anybody for that matter, why the president says the war should be arrested and go by the law. Nobody should be doing things because of the election body. Nobody is above this nation. Nobody is above for anybody. We cannot be a nation and think that we are doing a good for the nation. People are trying to destroy the nation. The nation is not thing we have. So we need to go to America to feel like they're be talking here, or go to Ghana or Nigeria. This is what we have. Some of us were in school, we start from school, senior students, and we start from school because of it. You work and lost job. So we cannot continue to live in a kind of a way. We beg you, anybody, you have any one, let's work together for the nation to prosper. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. 077764986 plus 231 777 64986. You can put your course in. We will take it, and then you make a contribution tonight on some of the topic that we are discussing on the closing argument. So this is Truth FM 96.1. If you are listening to or watching us wherever you are watching us live from and listening to us via radio, you can put your course in 0777 649986. 0777 649986 and plus 231 777 649986. So, Mr. Pewee, we can just keep talking and do. Okay, so we have someone on the line here. Hello, caller. Nima, where do you call from?
Good evening.
Yeah. Okay. Make a point tonight.
Yeah, my attention of Georgia is just issues, to be honest. And this coming October 4th, my organization and I, we are having a joint awareness campaign. This coming October 4th, they know the joint campaign. My brothers, one way or other, we are all being affected from joint. And when we will not be able to stay at citizens to combat this job, we're going to fight. That's it. 5% of our youth in this country. Period. Because I can see the pain when I see my brothers, my friends on the street. Like I saw my friend, one of my friends last week, all graduated from the Salvation Army, couldn't put you into high school. 14 guys, so on it, like very big. Fade up. I already felt like to be real. So we have to put people in the position, people who get a passion for the work and people who is willing to sacrifice to do the work. There's some people who will say, oh, I want to work in it. And I'm saying this to our government. Our government has to be very technical. The P has to be very technical. They have to provide a necessary strategy to work for us to come together and combat this issue. And so thank you for the covenant discussion. Thank you for giving me over from that.
Okay, you're welcome. 0777 649986 plus 231 777 649986. You can put your course in. So that's some of the things we are talking about. So you can not just pick up someone because you have a big hand in the LDA, just pick up someone and say, oh yeah, this is my relative, let's go to the LDA. The person don't have the passion, don't have the love, don't want to do the work, but just because in our country you cannot find anything doing, you cannot sit and just keep waiting. So as a result of that, you accept that job and then go into that work and want to do the work just because you have someone who wants to push you, but you don't have passion, you don't have the love, you don't have the mind to do the work to serve your country. But that's the kind of country we find ourselves in. So we just have to accept it and then keep moving on. But as a young people, as a patriotic citizen, we have to come on to enlighten the mind of the young people, enlighten the mind of everyone so that they can know what's exactly happening in our country. Because we have others who are willing to take the bold step. We have others who are willing to come on the front line to be able to serve that country. Right now, if the LDA put up vacancy, you see a lot of young people, you see a lot of Liberians will come out. They want to carry on to carry on that process and be qualified for that position. Like recently, we saw the LIS at SK. So many people went there, and you saw the names that were selected. after they wrote the test, and then when they went for the medical support, they went for the practical, and some of them were successful after the test. After that again, they went for medical, and then some of them were accepted. In that process, you just saw another list came from the other side, and then they were recruited. And the people who were successful, you could not see their names there. And others out of frustrations, others they credited their money, took money from people, hoping that they will be able to get that job, hoping that they will be qualified, that when they start work, they'll be able to return the person money back, or the place they took that money from, to return the money back. But sadly, some people out of frustration, they end up going to jail because of that. Some of them they end up doing something else. Frustration carry them because they had a mindset that they will be successful. They had a mindset that when they go for the process, they will be able to be choosing and then serve their country with the mind, serve their country with the heart, that they will be able to do the work for the Liberian people. But it's so sad. It's so sad for our country. So 077764986 plus 231 777649986. You can put your course in. We will take your course. So 14 minutes downside the hour, 11 o'clock, Mr. Pewee. So you can just we can just keep going on until we are ready.
Yes, no, because we have anything. We don't have much caller. We'll just call the program now. We some of them we hope to prepare for Monday because a lot of things swinging in this weekend between the All Liberian Diaspora Conference currently ongoing in DC. We can do some analysis of it because we try to prepare to move over to the conference. It's going to be.
So I think we have.
I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
flying just a driving time there. So we working on things to be part of it. The conference is going to continue tomorrow at the town hall with the president. That is a very important aspect of this conference coming on Sunday. It's going to be a very wonderful town hall with the president where he's going to be
Hello.
interacting with Liberia.
Yeah, Mr. Pewee, we have someone on the line. Yeah,
Go
Nima,
ahead.
where do you
Yeah,
call
go ahead.
from?
Yes, I'm Jack. I'm once again. I'm trying to call back because no much caller on your line.
Okay, yeah.
I want to appeal to the conscious mind of the people who are in the diaspora, those who are Peabody, like Pewee, like people. Let us build Liberia. Let us love Liberia. Let us stop being so. Let us stop having issues in our country and big political. Let political only fire. Why would the greatness and goodness of somebody will be true to reality? They love this country. This is the country that we have. I believe they have taken it. Let's stop this politics. Let's listen to build this nation. I'm not for anybody, I'm for this nation. I'm going on. I'm talking about 70 years old man. I've been with my parents too long. When I was in the senior college, I was in high school. 1990. Yes, to the sixth grade, I had to graduate. I lost my job in National Port Authority. I'm not in school now. I've been looking for money to put my children. Continue to go down the same line, these arguments. Talk about the kid and medicine argument, medicine argument, they will go nowhere. Cooking will go nowhere. We're still going to the same place, same direction. And we're trying to see that we love this country, but we don't love this country. Most of us don't love this country. We love individual. So that's the point. There shouldn't be a point for us to be a citizen of this country.
So what's your point? How can the people inform the people? That's what I want to know.
Very good. Look at the truth. Look at the truth and say it and follow through the same media. But let's look at the truth and say, look, let's say this is what's going on, Mr. President, you are wrong, and this is a suggestion. Or Mr. Minister, you are wrong, and this is a suggestion. We cannot criticize or fucking any suggestion. Not in the favor of an individual, not in the national favor. That wasn't happen. Some of us have problems. That happened with what happened with everybody down to the point. Everybody have problems with them. When they love this country, they care for themselves. Why you come by and say, oh, I want to look for a job for my son. Oh, I want to look for this people, the person here, I want to do this way there. No. It should be like let's come first. They should come first. The foreigners taking the country. The foreigners taking the country. They are fighting the children in school every day and night to take over this country. We see them political scientists everything in this country. One day we will go nowhere. We'll come, we'll get them on there, we'll get the next country. And my brother, one man that your friend told me, say, we take our children so that we can be president of this country. Where are we? We're sitting there and just making politics whole day. Not suggesting anything to solve this problem. Not bringing anything. Going in Nigeria. See what people are suffering there. What are we doing? What are we doing to solve this country issue? We just politicizing everything. You got no fund yet. You got nothing yet. You're not paying no role. But we just sitting there just talk all day. This one, they want. But brother, let's not take it side. Let's decide on the account of this country, Liberia. This is the only place we have. This is where we can be protected. Let's love this country. I'm begging you. I'm begging Mr. Pewee. I'm begging Mr. Pewee. My pastor, I'm begging all of these people. That's my country. Go in the country and see why you get there in Ramadan. What people are showing in Ramadan country? Where you coming from? What there? What there to show that we are in the diaspora? This is what we're doing for our country. Let's call the mind. Let's say, look, other people come together. Let's have a meeting of the mind so we can build up a place. Let's raise money. Then recently, some more we live in construction fee at the church. And we can do something to build up a country. So just something.
Okay.
Just do one thing over and getting no result. You're getting no result. No result.
Okay.
People are begging you.
Thank you. So 077764986 plus 23177764986. So Mr. P, you can go ahead. You was in front.
Yes, actually, I was just trying to say that as we prepare to hit the road. But again, it's important that Abu, I salute you too, my original greeting to you. But on a more serious note, there's a time that we have to sit and have a collective conversation about the country. And it's not all the time. And I like what he said also. He's a senior, almost a 70 years old man. These are people that speak with wisdom. On a serious note, I do respect the last caller view. It is important that that most of these things will come up to Maya, you have to mute.
Yeah.
Not ruling the bag, so that we speak to some of these things and allow them the way it is. And I agree. Sometimes we'll have to leave, and that's what I said from the initial monologue that I was conducting here this afternoon. That I was clear to say sometimes we have to remove ourselves from the partisanship and push ourselves into being nationalistic. And that's the mantra of the neo-progressive. And that's what the neo-progressive hours be coming on soon from a personal podcast that I will be engaged with. Time to time, we're intending to launch a kind of an active revolution. And the intent of this revolution is to ensure that we'll be more collective, more forward march in terms of what the approach we as a people, we have to take to move the country forward. We've been deciding a very long time, a very protracted period of time, of us between two major political institutions. What is it now that we are to move the country through? It's just going to be this, that. If this is not attacking these people, it's going against the other group of people. So it's about time we are about to come up with a new sort of conversation. And we are having the conversation to move the country forward. So the woman, what he said, is absolutely correct. We will have to leave some of these things and try to put our parochial narrow interests aside and focus on the major situation. The major situation is clear. We have to be proactive. We have to be engaging. And that's one of the reasons. Our mantra is to think Liberia, speak and push the country forward. And if that mantra is for the interest of the mass base of the people of the country, it will have to come from a very collective position of people. And we initiate this conversation and move with them. And we're going to have a conversation around that. And other folks want to join the debate. It's not about one individual nursing his own personal presidential thing or personal this. No, it's going to be a national conversation. And sometimes we have to sit and say, hey, how can we cool off? and including of how was the approach to move the country forward. It's not about just one group of people or one individual, a group of them sitting somewhere believing that, okay, we got this. We're going to do everything to protect this, and we will control the resources, and the rest of the people will follow. And we'll pay certain surrogates. Those Highlander surrogates will be paid. And we want to get these surrogates under our control. And those that will not do it, they co-opt them. It's a matter of co-opting certain people. And they use what means to co-opt these people sometimes. Financial means to silence them and turn them into a surrogates. So we ought to understand what is the way forward for the country, and that we're going to be in this for our generation. We'll come and go, and the next generation will say this, they come and go, and then the country will go nowhere. We celebrate, and Mr. Gayman and I had a conversation about this yesterday. People are celebrating, making it as a big news to do a running water system to help our tourist system in the University of Liberia, at the University of Liberia everywhere. That should not be a big news according to Gayman. I said, no, it should be a group that we've never had one before. And at this stage, 178 years old countries that are even 50 years old gone far ahead of us, 60, 70 far ahead of us. So there has to be a national, Dr. James Colley can always say, there's a need to have a national conversation and understand what the country, what is it that the country will have to decide to do. How can we move from this bubble of believing that we always depend on the IMF, the World Bank, or the MCC? Why, if tomorrow and now we're in a new era of global turnaround from the United States of America? This Think America now. The current president of the United States removed the United States from major UN and its organs. The United Nations, I mean, there's a book I read. It said the UN is a fitful servant of the United States. And reading that book, I just slipped in the name of the book, but it's a very good instrument to read. It's saying everything that the US wants to see across the world is being executed by the UN. But today, America is turning her back on the very UN. Withdrew from the WHO, withdrew from the United Nations human rights thing, and reduced significantly her contribution to that body. America contributed almost 60% of the money, 60% as just one country of the United Nations money was given by America. But now it's tough. So there will have to be a way that we think, as Dr. Colley would say, outside the box to ensure that how can we get some. Now we do have resources. Can we use some of those resources as a collateral, as saying that we intend? Now the country itself is backward in terms of road connectivity. Now during this rainy season we stay in, we narrowly leaving the rainy season. Very soon, maybe in the next 2.5 weeks, we'll be out of the rainy season because October 15, the dry season we will kick started. During the raining, most of our counties, capital are not accessible, or a different part of the counties are not accessible. The roads are not pliable. This is a country of 43,000. It's not a big country, 43,000 square miles. At this time, 178 years of age. We don't have, I think, how many of our capital cities that we got quota pushing to now paved road? It will be from Monrovia to Buchanan. Buchanan is the capital of Grand Bassa, it's paved. Monrovia to Banga. Banga is the capital for Bound Canada, it's paved. Monrovia to Gantas and San Nicolas. I think San Nicolas is done now, yes. So how many? 3? It's done. You have Monrovia to Tottenham. It's terrible now. The Bamagida Road was done at the time in the 80s by the late Slim President, Samuel Kanyando, and the then former military leader of Nigeria, Bamagida. Kit bombs, nothing. Papul, nothing. Lofa, nothing. Lofa is
So Mr. Pewee at 11:30 will be going off to February.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think will be on.
Yeah, but we'll just close by 11:30. So,
All right.
I'm using this time to just wrap up now. It's almost 11:30. Yes, so that's going on. I mean, it is important that we take note of these things. Myself, I have to hit the road so that we move the country forward collectively. So let me say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming on. Listen, we've been having some issue this weekend, and that's one of the reasons I know when the politics is not too strong, we don't have a lot of people coming on. But next time, please, we we have to move this issue going. We share the show, we move through, but we can assure the rest of the team, our resilient followers, those I agree and those I don't agree, we all into this together, and that's how we move the country forward. We disagree to agree agreeably, respectfully, and not in a more disrespectful manner. You agree with me, and I disagree with you. Tomorrow you disagree with me, I agree with you. That's the way we force on the kind of a personal way of handling things in a more mature way, and we do it in the interest, the general interest of the country. That is the kind of a collective way we have to do things. We foster communication. Effective communication is the way to go about it. It's not about trying to narrow it down from the perspective of those way we want to think from the personal side of this. We have to be open minded. We have to be mature. So um, um, let me say to you, thank you very much. We look forward to having more conversation.
Okay, thank you, all of our listeners and our followers. This is how we go on the weekend edition of the closing argument on Chief FM 96 I've been your presenter and producer, Myean Torgbean, and now I've been here with Mr. Sylvester Pewee. Both of us been carry you through the closing argument. So this is how we come to the end of this edition of the closing argument. Today is the 26th day of September 2025. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.